Hey, it's me, Josh. I'm here back with another video. BlockRoots, your knowledge source for the crypto market, and everything in this video, it's not financial advice at all. So do your own research before you invest or trade, and it's for educational, entertainment purposes only. It's here to help you out. It's here to give you another perspective from me. So hopefully that's helpful. As a reminder, if you have not followed me yet on Twitter, please do so. It's Josh_Rager, just my name. Pretty simple, right? And you can find me there, close to 22,000 followers, which is awesome. Would love to have you part of that community. And also too, I don't have quite as many people following me or subscribing on YouTube, so it would be great. It's really simple. You just need a Gmail account. Log into Gmail and go to my page and hit subscribe, and it's that simple, right? So subscribe and like would be awesome if you could do that, and always appreciate it. Let's go ahead and look at the Bitcoin market, because I'm sure you're wondering, is Bitcoin going to zero? It's not. Let's go ahead and look. So not to hold you to any suspense here, but no, I certainly don't think that Bitcoin is going to zero. We're here on the weekly chart, and just, from a perspective of support resistance, people try to make trading and buying and selling, investing are really hard. There's a lot of complex technical analysis that you can use, but support resistance is always your friend, and it typically works quite well in many different aspects. How low can it go, right? I think that's probably the first thing that people want to know. Initially, I thought that anything under 2,500 would be impossible, that wouldn't do it, right? I even said that on tweets in the past. I did say around 3K. I thought around 3K would be reasonable. And now, hey, look, we're at 35, as low as 3,400, and we're still here. We're still alive, and it hasn't really bounced hard yet, which is really shocking to see that there's a lack of interest here. But I don't believe that it's going to take much further for the buy-ins to start to come in. How low can it go, though? Personally, I'm looking at the this area. Right, all the support area right here, lots of weekly support around the 24 to 2,500 area. I think that's going to be very strong to break. Would have to take a very, very, very strong candle down past that area to break that. Can it go below that? Well, certainly it can. I believe that it's going to go as low as it needs to go to get people to sell or to worry people. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people who got in 2017, right? A lot of people bought in between 750 was like the low for 2017 and 2,500. And I even got in around some of my Bitcoin around 2,000, right? So that's scary to me that it goes to 2,500, because I want to stay in profit. Now, naturally, I think that Bitcoin's not going to die. There's too much investment into Bitcoin in the crypto markets by the New York Stock Exchange and Wall Street. Like, the New York Stock Exchange technically owns majority of Coinbase. Why would they allow it to go to zero? I mean, they're going to be out billions of dollars, right? It's not going to happen. Personally, I don't think you have anything to be worried about. But it can go as low as, likely even down here, to around the 18 to 1900 area. Right? It can go as low as that. I believe that there is a support there. As low as I want to see it go is probably this area right here. If it goes below 1,280, right? Like this last kind of area right here, ooh, that's kind of scary, honestly. So I'm going to hold, because I invested money that I can afford to lose. I encourage you to do the same. Don't invest money you can't afford to lose. But hey, I mean, if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. This is probably an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm not going to pass it up. If it goes to 1,200, then so be it, right? Like, I'll just turn off my computer and go along about my day and do my thing. But personally, I think that we could hit as low as here, 18 to 1,900. I think definitely we can hit as low as 2,500. So I don't think it goes below this area of 18 to 19. I don't think that it will. If it does go low, it's not going to break 1,200, or that would just be bad on a technical analysis level. Likely the balance area, a very strong balance, would be 2,500. Okay, so that's how low that I think that it could technically go. Now, those are the support areas. We also see some major support here, right? kind of where it's at right now, like the 3,600 area, 35, 36, very strong area. Next up, right, is certainly going to be the 3,200 area down to the 3,000 area. Let me go ahead and just kind of mark that off for you. This zone right here, right, is a very sweet spot zone. Now, a lot of people are very interested in between 2,800, excuse me, kind of 2,700, 2,800, this area of support here, okay, right here up to here. That's a lot of interest right there. I believe this is where a very strong balance is going to finally occur after you've seen all this capitulation. Let me go to the day chart. It looks a lot worse, right? If you go to the day chart and just kind of look at that. And I think that this is the area. I personally am going to buy prior to 3,200. That's because, as I said on a tweet earlier here, most people wait and put their buy orders at obvious psychological levels, such as 3,000. Don't be like that person, because a lot of times they might not get filled. I believe big buyers are waiting to buy it up in some of these areas, and they may try to buy it up before a lot of your buy orders get hit. So also too, don't put just like 3,000 down for your buy order. Put like $3,005, $3,012, etc. Pay a little bit more, but just know that more than likely, if it gets down to 3,000, your buy order will fill, and the guy who put $299 or $2,999 or $3,000 isn't going to get filled, possibly. So be smart and make sure you get those buy orders filled in by kind of maybe putting a little bit above. Front running is always wise, and so that's one thing that you can do. Now, why are these areas important? That's because support and resistance, right, shows a big key here. There's a big weekly and daily support and resistance in these areas, meaning it's going to be very hard to break. Now, why is it important? Because I believe that it does go lower than 3,000. I also believe that it bounces hard, okay? And where can it bounce to? When I say bounce, I believe that if it hits in this area, it's got the opportunity to go up and probably break the mid 4,000s and probably bounce to at least this area around 5,500. Let's just say the Fibonacci level, right? Let's just go up from here to, I don't know, 3,200. Say if it bounces from there, I think that it would probably hit that support level. It won't get past that. But historically, during this downtrend, we've seen large bounces, typically around the 0.6818 Fibonacci line, typically hit there and go back down. So I think that there's an opportunity to go above 5,000. Why is that important? Again, that's because if you buy at 3,000, 3,200, 2,800, regardless, if it bounces hard, you're almost doubling your money, or you have the opportunity to double your money if it bounces up here and then drops again. Okay, I believe that's what's going to happen. That's going to give many, many people the opportunity to double up their money. For example, if you buy 3 Bitcoin for $3,000 each and you pay $9,000 and it goes up past 5,500 and you sell there, that's going to give you up 16, 17, close to $18,000. And that is the same money that you can sit in, wait till it goes lower. You got to pay taxes on that, by the way, though. And after the taxes, you take money out for that, but then buy more in, right, off your gains. Pay taxes off your gains, right? Be aware of that. But buy even more if it goes lower, okay? So that's a strategy that you can use that typically is going to be a good risk to reward ratio, because more than likely it's going to bounce hard here. You know that. And very likely, again, as I said earlier, it's gonna probably go down far enough to shake out the people who bought earlier in 2016, 2017. That fear and panic could probably set in under 2,500 to 1,800. Also important to scale in. As I said, no all-in attitude is always the best. Good risk management. So put in some buy orders, 3,200, 3,100, 3,000, 2,900, etc. And you can certainly have those stop losses in place of about 1% or so. You can have stop losses in place that prevent, if it goes lower, Or again, if you don't think that Bitcoin's going to zero, I mean, if you feel like it's still going to bounce like at 2,500, then possibly stop loss isn't important to you. That's also an option so that you know that you don't lose out. Because a lot of times too, these big whales and market makers, and they tend to shake out people, get people to hit their stop loss, and then push the price up really far. So just be aware of that too. That's really important to think about as well. What is your risk tolerance? I always would typically encourage a stop loss, but again, if you're somebody who's a long-term holder, you believe in the asset of Bitcoin, then maybe you don't want to do it. So again, teach their own. I'm probably not going to put a stop loss in place for the fact that I think that it could go as low as 2,500 anyways, and there's no point in me putting in a stop loss between 2,500 and $3,200, right? Maybe I'll put one at 2,400, okay? But other than that, that's one concern to think about. Now, as far as Ethereum, how far can Ethereum go? And so Ethereum, again, we see doesn't look great, right? It's making lower lows on the daily. Not looking good. It's very similar to Bitcoin. I've got the support and resistance, or the support areas right here, which the next stop would be under $100, somewhere between, $80 to $90, $95. It could hit there again. And so that's a great opportunity to buy. Ethereum doesn't look as good as Bitcoin probably at this moment, but that's one area. I think you should definitely think about Ethereum at this bottom support area of, between $40 to $50. I think that if Bitcoin does drop below 2,500, we're certainly going to see Ethereum hit this $40 to $50 range, and that is beautiful. Now, as far as long-term investments, again, we saw Ethereum hit $1,400 over the past year, so that would be a good return risk place to buy. So with that said, this is Josh. Hopefully this was insightful for you. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, go ahead and do that. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Josh_Rager, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.